今天就来到三国时期一个重要人物的隐居地古隆中，也就是曾经刘备三顾茅庐的地方，来看一看诸葛亮曾经隐居的地方是什么样子的。
If you are a fan of the Three Kingdoms, then Gulongzhong in Xiangyang is a place you simply can't miss. This is where the legendary strategist Zhuge Liang once lived in seclusion, the very place behind the famous story of 3 visits to the Thatched Cottage. More than just a historical site, Gulongzhong is where ideas were born that would go on to shape the fate of an entire era. If you've ever been fascinated by the minds, loyalties, and ambitions of the Three Kingdoms, this is where that world truly comes alive. The first stop here is the Wuhou Shrine. Right at the entrance, you'll notice a 400-year-old sweet osmanthus tree and an 800-year-old ancient cypress. It was originally built over 1,700 years ago during the Tang Dynasty, and what we see today was rebuilt in the Qing Dynasty. The layout is very traditional, with a series of halls and courtyards that you walk through one by one. And inside the main hall are statues of Zhuge Liang and his descendants. This is really the heart of the whole site, where people come to slow down, pay their respects, and reflect. Standing in front of the 3 Visits Hall, the ground beneath our feet is the very place where Liu Bei came here 3 times in sincere pursuit, eventually winning over Zhuge Liang. It was here that the famous Longzhong plan was laid out, where Zhuge Liang mapped out the grand strategy to divide the realm into 3. That single conversation went on to reshape the course of Chinese history. Here, you are no longer learning about this moment through books or a screen. You are standing right where it happened, able to truly feel the weight and the humanity of history. As we stepped into Zhuge Liang's Thatched Cottage, we are looking at the place where he lived and studied during his youth. The simple straw-roofed house and understated furnishings make it easy to imagine the sleeping dragon reading late into the night, quietly planning strategies that would change an era. Every tree and blade of grass here was witness to his growth and reflection.
这就是诸葛亮学习的地方呗。我们感觉就这样进到了人家的家里。哎，这边是不是可以盖章了？你去问一下。啊，这第一是隆中队呀。
投奔荆州刘表。为了成就大业，刘备四处访求人才。在荆州名士司马徽的推荐下，得知世间有号卧龙、凤雏2人，得其一者，可安天下。而这卧龙正是隐居在襄阳城西20里的隆中。
In this open little square, there are live performances happening almost every day. They retell the famous story of 3 visits to the Thatched Cottage, a tale that's been passed down for over 1,800 years, but in a light, funny, and very approachable way. It's the kind of thing that makes people naturally slow down and stop to watch.
来，诸葛亮在家吗？
天哪！你是谁呀？
我呀，大奶水儿，这个对我哥哥无礼，三弟不可放肆。
我的天哪！
One place that really surprised me is a small garden called Laolong Cave. The sound of spring water fills the air, and the whole area feels calm and tucked away. There's even a local saying that drinking the water here makes you smarter. Whether that's true or not, it's definitely refreshing.
亲爱的游客朋友们，大家下午好。好。
If you are feeling tired, you can just sit down on one of the benches in the square and listen to a storyteller nearby. He's telling stories from the 3 kingdoms in a traditional stand-up storytelling style, and the jokes keep the crowd laughing the whole time.
咱们有个观众说的，别鼓掌。咱们有个观众说的，这说相声的语说的老头儿。
If you are even a little curious about the dramatic, ever-shifting world of the 3 kingdoms, the rivalries, the heroes, the strategists, then Gulongzhong is a place you really shouldn't skip when you come to Xiangyang. Walk these paths for yourself, experience the culture up close, and touch the very beginning of a legend. About a 30-minute drive from Gulongzhong brings us to a place I'd highly recommend you don't miss, Tang Dynasty City.
我们今天晚上来到一个这个襄阳的一个影视中心，叫唐城，有很多的古装的电影都是在这里拍的。然后我听说晚上有节目，而且这个灯一亮起来特别好看。我们进去看一看吧，都有啥。
Ever dreamed of walking the streets of ancient Chang'an, the magnificent capital of China's golden age? You don't need a time machine. Just head to this Tang Dynasty City. This massive complex is built around the culture of the High Tang period. It's more than just a historical replica. Honestly, I'd call it a theme park. And it's also a popular filming location for historical dramas and costume films. During the day, you can explore the scenery, and at night, you can catch live performances. That's why we arrived before sunset, so we wouldn't miss either the daytime views or the nighttime magic.
《都有啥？《妖猫传》《庆余年》《梦华录》也是在这儿拍的，《天盛长歌》《缥缈录》《大唐狄公案》。
So many hit films and TV dramas have been shot here. The moment you step into Tang Dynasty City, it honestly feels like you've traveled straight back to the Tang Dynasty. Not only are the security staff, cleaners, and shop assistants all dressed in Tang-style outfits, but a lot of visitors also put on traditional Tang clothing just to take photos. The city is laid out to mirror the structure of ancient Chang'an. And over at the West Market, you'll find plenty of street food stores and restaurants, a perfect spot to grab dinner.
炸鸡汉堡。 吃这家木桶饭，一统江湖。木桶饭，一边吃竹筒饭，一边还能看节目。
After 6:30 in the evening, Tang Dynasty City completely transforms. The lights come on, the music starts, and suddenly the entire city feels alive. Performances are happening everywhere, down the main streets, tucked into side alleys, on open-air stages, and even across ornate bridges. Traditional Chinese dance and music, fountain shows, lion dances, glowing fish lantern parades, one after another, in different corners of the city. You barely have time to take it all in before the next performance begins. It's vibrant, immersive, and a little overwhelming in the best possible way. Walking through it all, it really feels like the golden age of the Tang Dynasty has been brought back to life for the night. And that wraps up today in Xiangyang. Thanks for sticking with me till the end. Hit subscribe if you'd like to keep traveling with me. There's a lot more coming next.